Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV and we are on YouTube now. On the Good Morning India show this morning, I gave you 5 options for you to vote on the story that you wanted to know in detail about. And let's go and see what has captured your imagination. 61% votes have actually gone to the Rafale Sabarimala big Supreme Court verdict today that is underway. Also 18% on a very important issue, over 5 lakh premature deaths due to PM 2.5 that's in the air all around us. That is thanks to the Lancet report that's got 18% votes. Apart from that, the air quality in the severe plus category has got 9%, followed by equal amount of votes on the Sunni leader, saying that they will not be looking into a review petition at 6%, and Prime Minister Modi's push for investment at BRICS at 6% as well. All right. Supreme Court is where all the action is this Thursday, where it's just 2 days to go, where before the Chief Justice of India actually retires, and lots of interesting verdicts are actually coming out before that. We had the Ayodhya verdict earlier, and today is the day when issues on Sabarimala, the review petition which was filed, that will be heard. That's a batch of at least 60 odd petitions that the Supreme Court heard this morning. Apart from that, on Rafale issue, another review petition which has been filed, that's been heard, and Rahul Gandhi being put in and sued in court for contempt, that also has been picked up by the court. Now let's start with Sabarimala. That is all important, and the Constitution bench was listening into the matter. Now, just to break down what happened earlier, in the last time the Supreme Court heard this verdict, there was a split verdict. In a sense, there was a minority verdict and a majority verdict. The only woman judge on the bench that time had said that women should not be allowed. The others had judged in the favor of women of all ages, that includes in their menstruating ages, to enter the Sabarimala temple. Despite that order, there was violence at the temple. Women were not allowed. A very few handful of them actually made it to the top, and that too under immense and intense security cover by the police. So clearly on the ground, this was not being received very well. Thus came a review petition. 60 of them, they went and knocked the doors of the Supreme Court again, asking them to have a relook at the matter. And what's happened now in the Supreme Court is that even they are not clear. They haven't been able to come up to a conclusion. And now that case will be put forward in front of a larger bench. Now this has been referred, the case, to a 7-judge bench who will have a relook at the judgment. Also underlining at this point that the last judgment, that is women being allowed, stays until then. That's an important one. This at a time when in just 2 days from now, on the 16th, we are told the gates of the temple will open again. And then we'll have to see how that pans out. Remember, there was violence on the ground. Political parties were divided over where they stand in the Sabarimala issue. This was really at the heart of issues related to the rights of women and faith as well. Supreme Court today has come out to say that rights and faith and what practices are done by one group are not necessarily to be followed by the other. They have also come out to say that they will be looking into it again with a fresh perspective. Let me quickly take you through what are the big headlines coming out of Supreme Court this morning. And that is that the Supreme Court has referred the petition seeking a review of this decision to allow women of all ages to a larger 7 bench. Justice Ranjan Gogoi said that the question whether women of all ages should be allowed was part of a larger debate and also includes issues like allowing Muslim and Parsi women to enter the religious practice. He quoted and said that fresh opportunities will be given to all parties to listen into that matter. And then it goes on to talk about the 60 odd petitions that were filed, and now they will be looked into. There were lots of reactions that came in of the petitioners from the Supreme Court after the verdict came out, and they said that they are very happy with the fact the Supreme Court is giving them a good hearing again. In fact, a larger bench now will look into the matter. But at the moment, the focus now perhaps will shift to what happens now when the gates of the temple open on the 16th. Will there be protests again, or will they comply by the Supreme Court order, the earlier Supreme Court order that still stands? So that's all about the case of Sabarimala. The second story that has really captured everybody's imagination has been the Lancet report that came in this morning, which is really baffling to say the least at this point. The Lancet report says that PM 2.5, that is in the air right now, causing the AQI, that's the air quality index, to go in the severe plus category, leading to schools being shut in Delhi, Gurgaon, Ghaziabad, Noida, all of them, is actually long term has led to, in 2016, to several premature deaths. That's right, premature deaths thanks to PM 2.5, and that's something that's got everybody very, very worried. Let me just quote to you what exactly the Lancet report says. And these are the big takeaways that we found out. Over 97,400 premature deaths from coal. Throughout the adolescence, air pollution impact will worsen, and the total energy supply from coal increased to 11% in India between 2016 and 2018. It also goes on to say that the key focus this year of the report is the impact of climate change already having on the health of world's children, and how, without drastic action to curb emission, you can expect them to be felt throughout their lifetimes as well, potentially affecting both the quality and the duration of life. It says 5,29,500 premature deaths in 2016 happened, all thanks to PM 2.5. It's a very, very worrying report, and it comes on a day which is very critical as well. Today is Children's Day. Generally, all of us, when we think about Children's Day, we go back to our school memories where we would celebrate, kids would put up a show, teachers would put up a show as well. But today, the situation in the north of the country is so dire that the schools are shut. Children have been restricted to stay indoors, not go out. So what have they done? They have now decided to petition to the Prime Minister. Let me show you this visual and the placard that has been going the rounds. This is Bachcho ki Man ki Baat, strike with a pen. That is what kids are doing today. They have decided to write thousands of postcards to the Prime Minister, asking him to do something extremely urgently over this issue. They're asking, send a letter to your Prime Minister asking for your right to clean air. Enough is enough. We spoke with a couple of them on Good Morning India today, and we were joined by this one student who is in class 8th, Ishan Mahant, that's his name. He writes his class name and his section here as well. And thousands of these letters addressed to the Prime Minister are now making their way. They are writing it to get an urgent hearing from the Prime Minister and asking to do something about this. They're also attaching it with a letter of support coming from parents and teachers saying, why exactly has it come to a point that for the second time in 2 months, we've had to shut the schools, and we've had to ask kids to stay indoors. There's a very powerful tweet that came this morning from one of the parents who said that his 4-year-old child, it's his birthday today, and despite making all the preparations, they had to cancel their birthday party and ensure the child only stays indoor, thanks to all the toxic air that is outside, thanks to all that 2.5, which, if you connect to what the Lancet report says, will have long-term terrible repercussion on all our health, especially the ones who are going to be most impacted are going to be the newborns and the elderly. So on this Children's Day, the appeal that has gone to the Prime Minister is to ensure that their right to breathe is ensured. That's all we have for you on the Top Story segment on YouTube. You can continue to watch all our stories here on this platform. Subscribe to our channel to ensure that you stay up to date with everything that's happening on NDTV.